It's the Sofirn SP35 rechargeable light flashlight. So it's 2000 lumens, which is quite similar to this other light that I have over here. This is the Luminus C2, another light that I got recently just online from Amazon. I've just started getting back into flashlights again, and I thought this one was really cool, and then I got hooked and I bought another one. So this one here, apparently it's quite popular within the flashlight community. I mean, this brand Sofirn. So it's more of like a budget flashlight that you can buy yourself pretty easily. It's about $50 online through Amazon. I did use a bunch of vouchers in order to just get a bit of a discount of this. So I paid about $50 Australian for this. And I think it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's got 2000 lumens, it's got temperature regulation. It comes with a battery as well. So I just want to open it up and show you what's inside. So firstly, the box is pretty simple. You know, this is a Chinese made torch, and you can just see here just some of the details of the company on the back. Bit of their company information website there on the side as well, but it's a pretty basic sort of box. Okay, it comes, this is the one that comes with the battery and a few accessories as well. And I'll just pull it out. Let's have a look. So there's nothing else in the box. That's it. So it comes with an instruction manual. It's got a charging cable. This is really handy. When I started getting into torches back a long time ago, maybe even 10 years ago, and then I just stopped. None of the torches back then could be rechargeable using a USB cable. This is a USB-C cable as well, and I find that those connections are a little bit more durable. So there's a little thing that says readme insulation. So there is like a little insulation thingo inside. It's funny, it feels like this should have a tail cap switch on it, but it doesn't. The switch is actually on the side of the torch. So I'm just going to take off this little information thingy. Let's put that aside. It comes with a clip as well, which is great. Now this is interesting because I think this was advertised as having a clip that's reversible, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if this is if that's the actual version of the clip I saw online. Probably is. I think you can just take out the tube and swap it around. I've seen people do this just in a review, swap it around and then reverse the clip. So, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. It's got one of these bezels here that has little cutouts in it, and they're not really sharp or anything like that, but when you stand it on the head and you've got the flashlight on, you can see the light sort of come out from those little cuttings. It's good to just know when the light's on and off sometimes if you stand it up. Compared to the C2, it's a little smaller. It's slightly smaller, but look, it's almost the same size, really. I was hoping that this would be a little bit smaller than the C2. I couldn't find the dimensions of this online. It'd be interesting to do some beam shot comparisons between the two just to see which one is brighter as well, given that they look very similar. This one's a bit more chunky. The cool thing is the switch. I find it's got a little light on it, and it kind of tells you how charged the battery is, and it's pretty simple. But would it be nice to have a tail cap light on there? Lanyard comes with a lanyard as well. Let's open it up. Just take the tail cap off, and there we go. There's that little, remove that bit of insulation paper there. Okay, and what kind of battery is this? So it's a Sofirn rechargeable 21700 battery. It's a 5000 milliamp hour battery, 50 amps, and yeah, these are fantastic batteries. They hold a lot of charge. kind of see him as the 18650 upgrade. So let's turn this tail cap and I'll turn it on. Okay, it does turn on. So far it's looking really good. The finishing is nice and smooth. It's got a kind of semi-gloss finish on it. Compared to the Wuben, I would say that it's quite comparable. It's definitely a little more glossy, whereas the Wuben has a slightly more matte finish to it, but really quite impressed with the build quality of it. Let's see if if I can unscrew the top of it. Okay, that's pretty cool. There you go, and you can see where it connects onto the driver. The threads are lubed pretty well. They're square cut as well, so they're also anodized. Screw on quite nicely. So I'm pretty pleased with the quality. They've really improved the quality of these torches since I've last bought them. And there's a generous amount of thread on there as well. Sometimes you get those torches that only have a little bit of thread on the end and you feel like the tail cap's just going to flip off at any moment. See if I can turn it on. And if I just loosen the tail cap, okay. So if I loosen the tail cap just a slight, even just a 1/8 turn, it actually deactivates the light, stops it from turning on, which I think is a really handy feature. Sometimes I don't want to risk having this light turn on in my backpack or anything like that, especially, you know, they can get quite hot. So it is definitely smaller. The circumference of it is a little smaller than the Wuben. So I dare say this will overheat probably a little bit faster than this one here on the left. But the feeling of it is actually really nice in the hand. Something that you can just carry around with you. Just chuck it in your pocket. I mean, it doesn't come with a holster or anything like that, but it's a handy little thing that, I mean, that throws out 2000 lumens. I've just got to figure out how to use the different modes. Let me just pop this on just stick on the, oh, there we go. Great. And the interesting thing here with this clip, the interesting thing with this clip is that you can clip it onto your belt, you know, normally. So I don't know how to, sort of like this, just down your, just on your belt or in your pocket or something like that. But also you can clip it onto the top of your hat using this one here, which I find really cool. It's almost like having an improvised headlamp. You can stick that onto a cap, or you can clip it onto, who knows, something. I don't know what else you clip it on. Basically, like a hat or something like that, the front of a hat, and then have it face forwards. So I really like the added feature of this clip. It's a glossy sort of finish. It's a basic kind of clip here. I wouldn't say it's anything special. Also helps stop it from rolling around, having that clip on, as you can see. I kept this one on as well. That's what it looks like closer up. Just turn this around. The finishing on it is really quite nice. I like that button as well. Probably I would have liked if there was a button on the tail, like a tail cap button. The button is also not recessed, as you can see, so there is that risk of perhaps it accidentally activating in your pocket. But again, there's probably a way to put it on safety so that it doesn't activate. You just have to check the manual and see how we go. But this is a very nice little light. I'm so impressed by the quality of it, the finishing. I can't see any imperfections in the finish. So I'll end this part of the video and do a little beam shot test. Okay, I've got the Sofirn SP35 here, and I'm just going to be going through the different modes. So turning it on, this is the low mode,
can't see anything. Let's ramp it up slowly. Just able to hold down that button and you can see, okay, there we go. So that's the high mode. And compared to the Lumens C2, it's a little bit dimmer, that's for sure. They're all on full batteries. You can see it definitely illuminating those boats in the distance there, about 100 and something meters. Okay, we'll turn that off. Let's put it into the turbo mode. Okay, that's much better. And there is a wide sort of spot beam. It has a smooth reflector, so you can see definitely a large spot in the center. It's fairly throwy for a torch of this size, and you can see there's a lot of spill on the side as well. So a lot of useful spill. I'm not a big fan of those torches like the IF22. I think the IF22A that is just basically a lot of that spot beam, but not much flood. So this will be very useful. Alright, so I'm back at home now, and I thought I would just go through some final words and some things I really like about this torch, and some things perhaps that I didn't like or could be improved. So I'll talk about the things that I liked first, and one of the things I found was that compared to all the other ones that I bought, except for the Sofirn IF25A, I found that I was carrying this one around a lot more often, both of the Sofirns, and I find that the profile, they keep the profile of their torches quite slim, and at the same time able to wick away enough heat. So you know, I have another torch over here. This is the Lumens C2, a fantastic torch as well. But as you can see, it's a significantly chunkier, containing the same LED, and probably difficult to see. It's quite, you know, somewhat similar, but this one just has a little bit more of a smaller profile to it. And testing this one out compared to the C2, I found that actually over the long term, just having it run on turbo, it actually ramps down less than the Lumens C2. So although the Lumens C2 is pretty bright, and it's actually brighter than the Sofirn SP35 on turbo, it actually ramps down significantly more than the Sofirn SP35. I like the USB-C charging here as well. It's one of those torches that just makes it so easy for you to buy it. It's kind of like an all-in-one package. And you know, I used to buy torches with the batteries and the chargers and all that kind of thing separately, and just, you know, being able to grab a little USB, plug that in and charge it is, you know, really convenient. I mean, if you're taking it you know, not diving, but, you know, swimming and stuff like that near water, just make sure you've got that cap on pretty tight. You know, with all these ports, obviously there's that extra risk of water getting into the torch, but I definitely think with you know, just normal splashes and you know, just dunked in the water here and there, you're not going to get any issues with the torch. I love the construction of it. I did find that there were a few little nicks and things here. On the button there was like a couple of tiny nicks, you can barely see it, but just on the edge here. On the knurling as well, I did find that there was a little patch here that wasn't, here we go, just, it's barely noticeable, but it just wasn't anodized 100% correctly, or maybe it was just my version of it. It got knocked somewhere, or who knows. But you know, I've added and removed this clip multiple times, and it doesn't seem to affect the anodization, so that's really good. I like this sort of slightly shiny but mostly matte finish of the you know, of the anodizing as well. The beam profile is something that I really like too. It's a kind of you know, it's got a nice, it's definitely got some nice throw, a strong hot spot. You know, it's not the tightest hot spot, but at the same time you get a lot of spill, and a yeah, definitely a very, very obvious hot spot wherever you wherever you point the torch. It's a small reflector, so you're not going to get a huge, definitely a huge hot spot. In terms of the UI, I really liked the simplicity of it. So there's 2 different ramping methods. There's that progressive ramping where you press and hold and it slowly ramps up, and then you can actually switch to a step ramping, so it just steps up in 5 little modes to the brightest. So you kind of press and hold. There's a lockout feature as well, which is quite important, I think, anyway, when I'm keeping the torch in my pocket. This torch is bright enough on the turbo mode to burn things, and I found this out just by accident. Actually, I turned it on and I left it on my desk with a black desk, and it started smoking. So it's definitely something you don't want to accidentally leave on in your pocket, and so that safety mode really definitely really helps. The button, what I really love about this button is that it's definitely nice and firm. It's made of aluminium. I can't see anything going wrong there. This little clip as well is really cool because you can actually attach this, you can flip it around as well, and you can attach it to your hat. Okay, so it's like a double-sided clip attached to your hat, or you can just put it that way into your pocket. So you can use it as an improvised headlamp as well, and I think that's a great little feature for this torch. So great value, really good value for I think it was $40 to $50 Australian that I paid for it, and really would recommend it.